backs on the goddess.
That's right, those filthy atheists. We all know better than that.
Wickedness doomed them. I'm here. And wherever you go...
Hey, Dad, watch this.
Ahoy hoy, thanks for coming back to Colonel Ramrod, everybody. Hope you're doing well today. So yeah, today we're talking about Mr. Phil Burnell, or Darksydephil as he goes by. So I'm pretty sure most people here know Phil. He's been on the internet, god dude, I think since probably the founding of YouTube. He was one of those guys that used to like point a camera at his TV screen and record that way, and he did that way longer than he should have. But yeah, anyway, let's get into the early parts of Phil, and we'll go from the very beginning to as close to present as I can find. So it all began one day when Phil decided he was going to enter the Evo tournament for Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. And he placed fourth, which, you know, there's a lot of reasons they say that he should have, you know, not placed as high as he did, as like, you know, other competitors not coming for a variety of different reasons. The port of the game was really laggy, but here's a relevant clip of that.
But to disrespect the people that got top 8 at Evolution, to make excuses because it's on console, it's ridiculous. And it's unacceptable.
A pattern of behavior that will be very familiar the longer we go into this. You'll see Phil being a sore loser or making excuses as to why he couldn't beat the game for, you know, a lot of reasons. But here's another relevant clip of the other competitors and what they thought of Phil.
I was looking for. You got some idiot named DSP who's a total piece of shit, by the way. I like to get that on YouTube, but this guy thought he was hot shit because he beat me and Choi in a game that was like, it's like fucking Neo Geo conversion of Street Fighter or some crap, dude. and he was so proud that he put under his signature he's the #1 U.S. ranked Super Turbo player that year. But I mean, look at him now. I mean, he's just...
Yeah, they share the sentiment that I think most of the internet would eventually come to feel about Phil, if I'm being real. He did seem kind of salty at the same time, though, but I guess I'd be salty if Phil beat me as well. But regardless, after the Evo tournament, Phil had to decide to start a YouTube channel, which I believe was 2008, I want to say. Like I said, he's been on here for a really, really long time, guys. But yeah, let's get a relevant clip of Phil's early YouTube videos.
What am I supposed to do? Oh, come on! You die so fucking quickly. Splinter cell conviction today. I am suffering from allergies pretty bad, so there might be a couple issues with my voice. There might be a couple things going on, but I'm going to try to do my best to still be entertaining. I'm heavily medicated right now with several different allergy medications, chloroseptic for my throat. I can shoot
The really crazy thing is with content like that, Phil was seriously getting tens of thousands of views. I speculate that it had a lot to do with just the lack of people doing it at the time. I mean, but it is a good thing to see, you know, at that point, people didn't hate him yet. There's people telling him you should play when you feel better, you know, and stuff like that. That didn't last very much longer, though. We're going to get into Phil's sponsorships and stuff like that now, and it doesn't stay this rosy for much longer, I assure you. So after a ridiculous kerfuffle involving a troll creating a fake Ubisoft account and getting Phil in trouble with YouTube, he finally gets monetized on AdSense and gets his thing making money. Now, what do you think Phil does? Oh yeah, by the way, you gotta love how those videos are out of order even all the way back then. But yeah, the first thing Phil does is start asking his viewers to interact with his videos, you know, which is totally against the terms of service. And after YouTube ran him off, he goes to blip.tv uploading his videos. And wouldn't you know it, within a short amount of time, he got in trouble there for saying some anti-Semitic stuff while playing Dead Space.
This is what happens when you let the Jews do whatever they want. You've let the Jews overrun space, and now look at this. Hello, Jew. Give me your money. You've hoarded it for far too long. Why are you carrying your balls next to you? You stupid moron. You big-nosed freak.
Surely after that, you would assume Phil would be thrown in the trash can of all streaming and video services and not be allowed to do anything ever again, right? No, Machinima picked him up out of the garbage can, and Phil got lucky, as he tends to seem to always do. And he had a daddy, if you will, taking care of his content for him since he couldn't manage the AdSense account on his own.
So I created 2 new channels on YouTube. The first channel is called DSP Gaming. This is my active channel for video game playthroughs. On the other side, if you're a really big fan of fighting games and competitively playing these games, you're going to want to head over to my channel DSP Street Fighter. It's actually looking like this is going to work out, and this is going to be something I'm going to be able to do as a full-time occupation, at least for the short term. And as long as this works out over the next course of this year, it may be something I can do in the long term, which is excellent.
So for a little while after this, everything goes decent for Phil. You know, he finds that girl that he gets with, Pandally, and all that good noise. And, you know, until everybody starts making the "this is how you don't play" videos. Yeah, let's cut to one of those here, and you'll see what started the descent, which I think was the beginning of the end of Phil Burnell, if you will. Because he definitely did not see any of this coming, I guarantee it.
Oh my god, get up! What the fuck, man? I was about to finally catch him. I can't catch him! Look how far away he is now. What the fuck is this? What's he driving, a fucking jet?
So I want to say Phil is older than I am by a few years, and I've played Grand Theft Auto probably before this video is recorded, I have to imagine. You know, I can't imagine that was his first time, but even if it was, you know, he started at the wrong point and then hit every freaking light pole that was there. And there's a lot of these videos, man. You know, and I'm not great at everything I play. You can look at some of my videos and tell, but I try to only post my good stuff. But yeah, let's continue that clip because it gets pretty funny.
This is insane! You have to drive all the way across the entire fucking map to get it! Dude, that is dumb shit!
So he runs out of time, obviously, and you'll see why here in just a few seconds, why I think it is that he was starting at the wrong location, it would seem. But yeah, this next clip is hilarious, dudes.
Wait a minute, now the bike's right next to you! What? How is it? What the fuck? Why'd they make it so much easier now? Get off the bike, you fuckhead. There we go. Fuck you.
Before we hit the punchline, I just have to ask, I can't be the only person sitting here thinking, why did you not shoot that guy, Phil? Okay, here's the punchline finally. Sorry.
Ah! What the fuck? What the fuck? Get up! Are you fucking serious? This is bullshit.
So Phil is throwing down some, you know, very mediocre gameplay, you know, at best. That's definitely what is up in the "this is how you don't play" and most of the ones I've seen anyway. I really hope when I go to watch his Fallout ones, they're not, you know, this bad. But regardless, what we're going to get into now is Phil's mouth and how it gets him into trouble on Twitter specifically, because that's pretty much where his story goes next. So let's get a relevant clip of that. So to those outside of the, I don't know, I questioned it the other day on Twitter with somebody, speaking of Twitter, of course. I was like, Snortverse, I don't know what they call the DSP verse, but all you're seeing on screen is an argument he had with Mitch Dyer. I think it was a guy who reviewed for IGN, I want to say, about a game, and Phil disagreed, so, you know, he's calling him a Muppet and, you know, whatever. But he also insulted PewDiePie and some guy named Tobuscus and a few others. But we're going to get to the more notable things, you know, things of a stroking variety, if you catch my drift.
Again to 2016 and the incident. Splurge. Where basically, because of a very stupid thing that I did on a stream, people tried to basically say that Phil should be banned from the internet and shit like that. I masturbated in front of thousands of children. I'm sorry. What do you want me to tell you? It didn't happen? It did. It did happen.
Yeah, more or less. I figured most people were aware of this, but Phil totally wanked, I guess. I don't know what word to use here, if I'm being real. But he's going to explain it. You'll see. But before I let the new Phil speak, which, yeah, we have a video within a video, and then on my video makes it another video. And I'm kind of baked right now, so, that's kind of wigged me a little bit, if I'm being real. But, yeah, let's get back to see what new Phil has to say about all of this.
So, ladies and gentlemen, all right, you ready for this? 'Cause this is going to be a bombshell. This revelation, all right, is going to rock the internet. What I'm about to tell you has never...
Sorry, I had to pause right here because I just had to point out while I was doing the research for this how annoying that was, that he just has to drag that out. Like that's so Phil. Just pure unbridled Phil. All right, I'm going to let him finish now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I staged the whole thing. I made the whole thing up and it was staged. Yes, it was my master plan that this would be on the internet. Abso-freaking-lutely, right? Bullshit! I was wanking my crank, I was pulling my putt, I was spanking the monkey, I pulled out the trouser snake for a walk. I was absolutely doing that on the stream. Abso-freaking-lutely, I got caught.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about right there, huh? Getting real steamy. Yeah, Phil is something else, man. I guess you can't fault him for his honesty, if nothing else. But yeah, let's get out of Phil's jerking adventures, because that really only led to that one thing, and everybody wigged on Phil. He trended on Twitter for like a day, and that was about it. Now we're going to cut to an early explanation of why Phil was the king of hate, if you will.
People also get this misconstrue, I'm the king of hate. Oh, that's because he hates on everyone. No, that's not where I got the name from. I've now explained so many damn times. It's because people seem to find a way to hate me, and I take that hate and I turn it around into fuel for me to keep going. It's happened in the Street Fighter community. Now it's happening on YouTube, and it's not going to stop me. You know what I mean? But I've grown and I've changed.
Sorry, I just couldn't help but think that was super profound of Phil. You know, kind of somewhat understanding that people disliked him, but not quite grasping the reason why. You know, I just thought that was worth showing everybody. We're going to move on along here, though. But also, I just got to point out, can't stop, won't stop, snort, snort. Yeah.
And basically, I had two pretty epic-looking tweets that, yes, one of them was directly to him and one wasn't. It was more indirect, but two epic tweets that kind of went crazy on Twitter, one of which has like 6,000 likes, one has like over 17,000 likes, and major content creators, including guys like Hee Productions and PewDiePie, amongst others, have been like referencing me. Boogie said that it was his favorite tweet ever. This is the first time in years that anyone has really come out and said anything positive about me, because sadly, as you guys and gals...
Yeah, I know. I said that one thing, but that's kind of the thing with Phil, dude. I was making a point by, editing it in this fashion to let you know that even though we should be forgetting about him, wanking, but, he won't let it go. So it won't be let go. And my God, the fact that he was referencing Boogie in a positive light, that lets you know how truly far ago this was. Because I have not heard anybody say anything about Boogie that was positive in a long, long time either. So if you look to your children, we have a graph demonstrating how DSP's viewership goes down, even though he's made a bunch of noise on Twitter and, talked about him stroking it and all that stuff. His viewership still goes down. So what's Phil going to do now? Let's see. Probably try to go after the people making the "this is how you don't play" videos, which is, what he shouldn't do. Phil didn't give any kind of shit about anybody criticizing anything, man. In fact, it all started because one guy got banned from commenting, and I believe to say his name was Evil AJ, I think. Anyway, he made the first "this is how you don't play" video, from what I understand, and yeah, dude, it didn't end well for Phil. Just kept getting worse and worse. Of course, DSP was coming to the defense of his girlfriend, Panda Lee, because I think he's had something to the effect of that she was the reason his content had gotten worse. So he banned him, pissed one guy off, right? And he goes postal. And Panda Lee doesn't help Bull, sounds like...
Fuck all of you who are acting immature. This is what you get now. We're putting it into sub-only mode. You fucking idiots. I'm here trying to play a fucking game. It's hard to concentrate when a bunch of little immature
pretty much demonstrate. So what you're seeing on screen is some classic Phil stuff. Twitch admins asking him to lower his bit rate because it's not allowed at the time, you know, and Phil gets all uppity and starts claiming that other people are doing it, so why can't he, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Basically just causing more trouble when he shouldn't be, you know, because he's in a precarious financial situation. So he starts streaming on YouTube, even though they are new at the time, and Phil's YouTube is, you know, suffering due to him not paying it any attention and mostly focusing on his streaming, you know. Everything was looking dark for Phil. Until... No, I'm not gonna put you through that, I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, so Phil makes a Patreon. That's what happens next. So, and actually reaches $1,000 a month, which is kind of flabbergasting. So can you take a guess of what happens when you tell your audience to go fuck all of them and, you know, stuff like that? Yeah, you get swatted. That's what happened to Phil. He got swatted, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your viewpoint of it. And after that, he got DDoSed. Yeah, even worse. So it just keeps going. 2015 is not a good year for Phil so far. Not at all. It seems the hate is on him even harder and hotter than ever, most certainly. If you're not internet or troll type savvy or just whatever, not into computers, what have you. Let me break all this stuff down. So the swatting is when somebody calls that person's local police department because the dummy somehow got his local address leaked. I have no idea how. And they come and bust in the place and ruin the stream, etc. A DDoS is when they deny service by overloading their bandwidth of their internet service provider, basically. There you go. And unfortunately, for the very moment, that's going to be where we close the book on Phil for now. Depending on how this video does, we may revisit Phil. I got a little bit more footage from this in a different area on my phone that can be used in about 10 minutes worth. So, you know, if this performs well, we'll see. If you stuck around this long, thank you so much for doing so. It means a lot to me. You know, I'm thinking of different stuff to do here all the time. I got, you know, memes I want to put at the ends of videos, different stuff I want to do, like music reviews. The channel's gonna be going in different directions for sure. I'm just trying to find my footing, trying to find where I even fit in and all this YouTube stuff, because it's difficult. I've tried the lolcow stuff and it's done pretty good. Gaming stuff, it's hard to stand out. There's too many people. You know, I know I say and you can point that out in the comments if you want to. I don't mind. I'm not sensitive at all. We ripped on each other like hell when I was growing up, so, you know, no hard feelings, Phil, if you happen to see this. Don't take any of this personally. It's just me talking about what happened with you. Anyway, here's some of the memes. They're going to be New Vegas related this time. I'm only going to do a couple, but if y'all like them, let me know and we'll add some more. Thanks for checking my channel out. I'll see y'all in the next video. Let me know what you'd like to see. Later.